Hi there, and good afternoon. Or is it good evening? Is it now good evening, good afternoon?
This place is always night. It's fine.
Because the daylight saving time here.
Exactly.
So good evening, welcome to another episode of the Silver Screen Show. Hope you're having a nice Easter weekend. It's a bit grim, but what can we do? I suppose we have a nice four-day week.
It was sunny in the morning today.
It was just
But
like
it
rain,
turned
just
out,
like going
yeah.
to the office and like
Started raining just as we arrived here.
That's a good omen for the show.
Yeah.
Right, no pun intended. Let's just get cracking on. So,
So smart. You're so smart.
I feel like I need to get this Easter egg pun in. Right, so let's open up first. So we're going to be reviewing Pacific Rim, Unsane, and Ready Player One. So let's kick off. We're
Big films, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think these films were very summer-like, to be honest.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
came
yeah.
out in
I think it's
spring.
the start of summer season starting here early.
And all ducking Infinity Wars, like mad stuff. Yeah, let's release it now. Let's not get involved in all of that. Right, so first up is Pacific Rim Uprising, which is the sequel to the 2012, I'm going to say, 2012 Pacific Rim. So this picks up following the events of the first Pacific Rim movie, which was a story about, simply put, robots beating up giant alien monsters. Pretty straightforward. But it was directed by Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro. Yes, and it was actually a really amazing film, and I loved it, and I think you loved it too.
Oh, I watched it so many times.
So we had a lot of hype bringing into this movie. This stars John Boyega, Scott Eastwood, Charlie Day, actually. So the story picks up following the first movie. The war is over, and now the world is recovering 10 years down the road. And obviously the kaiju return with a vengeance, and this story pretty much follows that arc. So right, I'll let you
Start?
Yeah, let you start.
Well, where do I even begin? I mean, when I first saw that Idris Elba wasn't there, I knew there was something going wrong.
Also, when Del Toro wasn't attached to it either.
Well, Del Toro is producing, which I thought maybe there is a glimmer of hope. But this film, let me tell you folks, it's shit. It's utter shite. Like, I'm not even joking. It's worse than, no, not worse than Batman vs Superman, but as bad as Batman vs Superman.
I mean, I'll be honest too, my views on it is very poor. I think that's mainly because the first one I loved so much, and I think the influence of Del Toro is most certainly missed from this one. You can just tell it feels like a totally different movie. But
it feels like a B film. It feels like a B movie done by a director who doesn't have much experience.
To be honest, the director is Stephen DeKnight, and it's his directorial debut. So, I mean, you can pretty much see
that shows, yeah.
Yeah, there's no real angle he's going for, or no special like footprint of his to say this is his film. But, you know, let's start with something good. I don't want to rain upon it from the go.
Okay.
So do you have anything nice to say?
I do, yes. I thought John Boyega is very charismatic and charming.
Yes,
he always pulls his weight in the film.
I really think he was by far the best part of this movie, and any scene he was in was straight away, you know, the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. He's just got this charm about him, which is, and there's this magnetism about him, which he fills that role very well.
Yeah.
And he brings in humor as well, as you can understand. He's got emotions behind it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy he was there. I'm happy that was the reason why
it's
I
hard
got
to
to watch
replace
the
Idris
film.
Elba. It's hard to replace Idris Elba from the first movie because he was just simply magnificent in Pacific Rim. So obviously there's a big task following
Today
that
we're
character.
cancelling the apocalypse. No one beats that.
And also, I suppose you can't go wrong with the buff fight scenes, like the final fight scene when all the aliens combine and just destruction and mayhem and chaos.
It was crap.
That is pretty much what Pacific Rim is.
No, it was crap.
I mean, it wasn't as great as the first movie, but you know, as a positive, I can say those scenes were good. I'm not gonna lie.
If you're like under 10-year-old,
You know,
you'll
man,
enjoy that.
If you just want to see robots punching giant aliens and chaos, you know, it's great.
But like you were saying, that punch now doesn't have that weight behind it. It's just like cartoony.
That's what brings me on to like the negative side of things. Like the fights are, I mean, as a visual spectacle, they're massive. Destruction of Tokyo, you know, like Godzilla references and stuff like that.
So much.
But bringing it on to the negatives, I mean, I don't know where to start. Firstly, I think the characters from the first movie, I don't want to spoil it, just get totally like destroyed here. Like from the first movie, they're wasted in this movie. I'm like, what's the point of
bringing them back
characters
anyway?
if we're just going to waste their characters away? Secondly, and I think more importantly, it just does not feel like the first movie. I think Del Toro had such an influence on that first movie. It had such gravitas and intensity. I mean, it was a cheesy movie, and the foundation of it, just robots, aliens beating each other up. But it was still a serious movie. Like, it still had a very serious message.
It was done with such realism as well.
Exactly. It was a serious war they were doing. This could be the end of the world if we mess this up. Whereas here it's just like, just for some random kids, they're fine, they're flying around like it's a school trip.
Yeah, and this time they're literally kids. They're like 10 I think one of them is 14-year-old.
I mean, she did what's her name? Kaylee Spaney. I mean, she was decent. I mean, she...
No, she wasn't.
I mean, compared to the rest of the film, I mean,
That's not a bar we should adhere to.
Well, to be honest, she hadn't much to work on. When I first saw her, I thought she's going to be like the one from Transformers. And that was an annoying character.
All right, it's not as bad as Transformers.
That's what I mean. Like, I thought she's going to be really bad. I thought, you know what? She isn't actually the worst part of this film.
Yeah.
She's perfectly okay. But the kids just really makes it feel like a totally different movie. I'm like...
I mean, the problem is not that the kids didn't act well. The problem is that they had kids in there piloting massive robots rather than people with experience, like mental capacity and mental...
That's what the first movie made very clear. Like, these guys have to be mentally, they're not just physically, they have to be on it to command these figures. Whereas now it's just anyone can just get in and fly around and do their stuff. Because it just feels like a Power Rangers movie, which is okay in a Power Rangers movie.
Power Rangers film.
Yeah, but here, these robots are serious business. You can't just get anyone to randomly fly these things and they're doing somersaults like it's nothing. I'm like, they shouldn't be able to pull this off.
Yeah.
What else do I have here? The product placement. To be honest, this felt very much like a Transformers movie so much. Like, the product placement, Age of Extinction was full of product placement. Whereas here, in the beginning 5 minutes, there's 3 different brands being presented. I'm thinking, oh, what is this? I've already got a bad feeling about this. You shouldn't have that many product placements off the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's also the weird mentioning of how hot or attractive everyone is, which is like really weird. I'm like, what is this doing in this movie?
You mean Scott Eastwood?
Yeah, like constantly mentioning, oh, look at him, he's so perfect. Then even John Boyega, look at me, I'm gorgeous, it's not easy to be this hot. I'm like, what is this doing in this movie?
No, but John Boyega's one is fine because he's just being...
But even then, to even bring those references up, it's like, it feels out of place in this movie. In a Transformers movie, that's what Michael Bay does. So you don't really notice. But here, I'm like, the first movie didn't have that kind of stuff in it.
Maybe this is the stamp of this director.
Yeah,
he just likes to show that every actor is good looking.
Scott Eastwood isn't even that. He's just got the same face for the entire movie. Like, my face is perfect, I don't want to move it. I'm just going to have the same expression.
Speaking of Scott Eastwood, I thought he was a terrible actor.
Yeah, he's very
put a very poor performance. He didn't look like a head of the army. Well, he wasn't head of the army.
This is a very generic army, bro.
Not even like someone who could command other people to do stuff. He was literally commanding the children, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and that's the kind of role that probably fits him. He's like...
they tried to use him to replace Paul Walker in The Fast. His name was like, no, we're not having...
Paul Walker?
Like, they tried to replace his character in the Fast movie.
Oh, in the Fast and Furious
He's like the new guy. So they tried to use him to replace him. You could tell.
No.
But it just didn't work.
Terrible.
Also, we have... Just want to mention one more thing is the random third pilot lady, whoever she is. They tried to make some sort of weird love triangle for no reason. Like, there's some weird flirtation stuff happening between John Boyega and Scott Eastwood and their like hot colleague. And for some reason, it teased like she's into both of them for some reason, and then it's just never spoken of ever again. I'm thinking, why did he even bother with that subplot? What's the point of it all? Is this Michael Bay in disguise? I don't know. And they literally have put this weird like freeway. I'm like, fair enough. They never mention it. And it even shouldn't be in that film in the first place because this isn't about...
No.
But
no,
anyway...
I mean, the other things about the film was, you haven't mentioned this, the story. The bloody story. It's just one of the worst. It's one of the worst story I've seen in the last, I don't know, decade maybe, in a film of this bigger budget.
I'm more annoyed is the fact it just destroyed the first movie's whole point. Like, it just rewrites the motives of the enemy, what everything was. It's like...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like kind of,
that didn't bother me too much, but what bothered me was the direction they took of what brings the kaiju back.
Yeah, and what they do with a certain character.
What they would do with a certain character. I don't want to spoil this, but this was so bad.
Yeah, it just didn't.
And it was just so unrealistic. It looked to me as if the director's or the screenwriter's son just said, "Daddy, can you do that? That would look pretty cool." I said, "Yeah, son, you're the guy, you're the man." Right.
I think we've ranted on a bit too much on this one, but let's quickly sum it up. How would I quickly give it a summary? Keep it clean, keep it PG.
Difficult to do. I mean, it's a crap film. Don't watch. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. Terrible film. Don't watch it.
Mine is never go full Transformers, man. And this is what this movie did. You went full Transformers, and this is what you get, man.
Yeah.
And they also tried to hint a sequel at the end. I'm like, don't stop hinting sequels in movies now. It's not cool, especially when the movies a pile of like rubbish. Keep it clean. Okay, right. So moving on. Next film is Unsane. This is directed by Steven Soderbergh, great director, and stars Claire Foy, Jay Farrell, and Joshua Leonard. I'm not really familiar with. But I'll let you do the throwing the questions on me because I've seen it and you haven't.
Yeah. So what is it about?
Right. So this is about Claire Foy's character, whose name is, let me see, Sawyer Valentini. Very nice name. So she gets, so she's paranoid. She thinks she's being stalked by one of these weird creeps, and she thinks she's constantly seeing him. And eventually down the road, she thinks she's being paranoid, and they place her in a mental institute. And then the film basically follows that. You know, is she really insane? Does this stalker really exist? Which is making up in her head. Right. And it just follows that along basically. So it's just her, you know, is she really insane?
So this is if I'm to put in a genre, a horror, thriller, drama?
Yeah, it's like a psychological drama. I want to say it's a horror.
Oh, it's not horror.
Okay. It's more like psychological drama.
Is there a lot of gore in it?
There's no gore in it.
All right, that's a good sign for a thriller.
So I think what's really interesting about this movie, which I found out, is this film was shot entirely on an iPhone. So.
Ah, right. Yeah, I did remember reading about it somewhere.
They used free iPhones to film this movie, and I'm like, okay, that explains.
How did it look?
It feels very uncomfortable because the film isn't widescreen. It's got the iPhone aspect ratio.
It's not portrait.
No, it's landscape. But it's still got massive blocks, and it gives it a really uncomfortable feel to the movie.
Does it?
I was like, why isn't it widescreen? It's disturbed. Like it's really like you get used to it. I want to see a film in that aspect ratio. It just makes the film feel claustrophobic.
Should have used an Android.
To be honest, I think if they wanted to go for that angle, I mean, it really works. If the entire film, it just bugs you, like, oh, it shouldn't be like this.
That shouldn't be the reason why it should bug you.
No, but that bugs you nicer though, because it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable and uneasy, and that's what the film's portraying. She's always feeling a bit unstable.
What was the reason for shooting in an iPhone?
I don't know, maybe he was trying to set an example, I think.
Oh, there is no story link to it?
There's no story link to it, it's just a production film I'll mention.
But my God, talk about, like,
the film only
really...
cost 1.5 million to make, actually. So it's done on a really, really low budget. So it saved a lot on, like, camera equipment.
Right.
But I think I really enjoyed the first half of the movie. It's great. It just follows her in this place where she believes she shouldn't be in. But, you know, at the same time, you think that she really might be crazy. You don't know. Because the people there do a good job of convincing her, you know, you can't be in here if you're, you know...
completely of the right mind.
Exactly. And they start feeding her drugs. And she starts thinking, wait, am I really insane?
Right.
So that's what the first half of the movie is. It's like a cerebral film. So, you know, you're going to see, is she really what she is? Because, you know, before she gets... what's the word I'm looking for? Before she gets admitted to the place, she's quite a successful lady, you know, working a nice job.
Oh, okay.
So no, she's like, so there's no really any hints for her to be unstable. Once it's unraveling, like, oh, I see. And like the film has a really good angle regarding like the American healthcare system. It starts thinking about stuff like that, brings in real life into it, thinking how... It's
not political, is it?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a political angle to it because, you know, what happens in the film actually happens in real life. So the way it works. So you think, oh, okay, that's really interesting. Oh, I like, it's cool. But I think the second half of the movie just kind of pulls it all back in. So it becomes a bit more like, I think a bit more cliched and a bit more predictable in a sense. So
does it go in the typical horror genre?
It's not horror, but it kind of goes in a way where, like, once that revelation is made, the film just feels a lot less immersive. Like the first half, you're constantly paying attention to see, is she insane or not? You know what's happening. But once the revelation is made, like that mystery is gone now. It's just like, oh,
there's nothing more keeping to it. They should have
kept it till the end. Pretty much halfway the movie, it kind of reveals itself. Then you're like, oh, okay. And you just kind of lose a bit of, like, because you want to keep the audience a bit more.
the draw to the mystery of the film.
A bit more before you reveal what's happened. But they kind of think they reveal it a bit too soon, and that kind of really does bring it back for me. Because I think the first half was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. And the second half kind of could have really improved it there.
How does the production look like? Like if if it's in an iPhone, it looks difficult to come through.
I mean, there are certain parts that the lighting is a bit poor. You can tell, and obviously an iPhone camera is going to capture anything. Because the mental institute is going to be.
How was the low light performance? This is like an ad for iPhones the entire way through.
It's a good way to advertise it to me. I cannot not mention it in it. So, but I mean, you can tell especially on the dimly lit scenes when she's in the basement stuff like that. You can tell this isn't a high end IMAX camera. But like I said, that actually gives it a nice feel to the movie because the film is about is she mentally okay. And makes you feel a bit uneasy. But, I mean, one other thing I do want to mention is Claire Foy is amazing. Like, she's the main character in this, and it follows her pretty much for the entire movie, and she does a great job. I know she's in some other dramas, which I haven't been bothered to research. I think in The Crown or something like that. But yeah, she really impressed me. Oh wow, she's done, because most of the movie is basically just her and her talking to a camera.
Good to know.
So yeah,
should we watch it? Is it
definitely,
one to watch?
I'd definitely recommend to watch it. I mean,
Definitely recommend watching
yeah,
it.
I mean, if you like these kind of movies, these psychological thrillers, it's definitely worth it. I mean, the second half was a bit of a letdown for me, but it didn't distract me from the fact, that I wouldn't recommend it, and definitely go check it out. And for a film that's only made 1.5 million, it's pretty good. I mean,
And made on an iPhone.
exactly, well, free iPhones. But yeah, I saw the behind the scenes footage of it. It's really,
All right.
they literally just got an iPhone on a tripod. It's like, it just feels like an amateur movie. It's actually, a Hollywood production. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
I'll check it out. I haven't watched it yet, so I'll check it out.
You like all that technical stuff.
I think I'll be saying, oh, should have used the Galaxy S9 camera instead.
That can do slow motion and backwards.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, so moving on, final review, Ready Player One. This is the latest blockbuster from Steven Spielberg. You just watched it today, so you got a lot
Just watched it today, yeah.
I watched it a week ago with the advanced screening from Cineworld, so that's cool.
And you had the embargo, so you couldn't talk about it.
Actually, I don't do it. I had an embargo, I didn't mention it, but I wanted to sound cool and say
okay.
embargo. Right, so this is directed by Steven Spielberg. It follows the adventures of, what's his name? Wade Watts.
Wade Watts.
Young teenager who, in this world, it's like a future dystopian world where there's an online world called the Oasis, where anyone can wear a VR set and get into the system.
It's basically Second Life with VR.
Yeah, so everyone around the world, it's like a big thing now. This is integrated into society in general, and everyone can go in and do whatever they want. So then there's a revelation made who the creator of the Oasis has hidden some secret treasures in the internet, you could say, and whoever finds it becomes the new owner of the entire Oasis. So this kicks off a massive conspiracy theory and also competition between these random kids and massive corporations who want to also take control of the Oasis. Basically, if you control the Oasis, you control the world, essentially.
Well, yeah, it's a $500 billion business apparently, and so corporations as well as people from every walks of life want to now get this Easter egg.
It's really funny because like you got the random people every now and random kids who are just playing the game, and you also got the massive corporation who like got hundreds and hundreds of people on hire just for this one thing. So I did like the whole underdog against the evil corporation, felt very 90s in a sense.
Typical Spielberg.
It is.
Very typical Spielberg.
Right, so let's throw it over to you because you got more fresh in your memory. Let's go with enjoyment first,
I think I'll pepper that with a bit of premise as well. So our main character is a really poor guy.
He is not Miles Teller.
He's not Miles Teller.
Like Miles Teller.
He looks very much like Miles Teller, yeah.
I'm like, wait, this isn't Miles Teller?
Yeah.
But his name is Ty Sheridan.
Ty Sheridan.
Surprised like Miles Teller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what Hollywood's new go-to face is like these days. No, but the guy acted well, right? So yeah, Miles Teller's character. Ah, Jesus. Ty Sheridan's character is not a rich guy. He's got the Oasis VR technology, and so he logs in there every day or so, and then he goes around trying to find it. So he comes up. So the main guy who died, the creator of the game. Sprinkles three keys across the world which you have to capture in order to get this. So the film starts with a bang, like absolutely amazing how it starts with that race. Yeah, that race was amazing. That's one of the best shot car chase scenes I've seen in movies. I'm not joking. And Steven Spielberg is obviously a great director, so he knows how to do it. But I think Steven Spielberg hasn't been directing very well in recent days, but he's done a good job in most of the places of this film. So car chase scene amazing, gets the key, and then it just like dives into a soppy pond of like emotions and drama. I thought it was so fast and so quick how Steven Spielberg's main winning point, unique selling point, USP, is that he can do drama and emotions very well, and he brings emotions out of every character. But this one was just like hammered onto the audience. You mean like, look how emotional this film is.
Artemis, who's like his love interest in the movie.
Not just that, like how he's like downtrodden, he's living with his aunt, and even there, the uncle hates him, and it's just like drama after drama.
But he would prefer more if you just focus on the Oasis and what they were doing.
The only points in that film where I was really engrossed and entertained was when he was in the Oasis and there was the story progressing, rather than when the emotion was thrown thrown at, or rather you were thrown into the
I would
emotion.
agree with that, actually, because I think the story is engaging and enjoyable when they're in the system and they're doing all the fancy special effects, all the dynamic angles they're doing, all the action intense. It's fast paced, and it really does. And every time they get out of it, it goes back to like the corporate side of things. Evil generic corporate guy.
Unbelievably poor. That was terrible. IOI, the main evil organization, is just so typically movie evil that you just don't buy it.
It felt like RoboCop, like just generic.
Yeah, you just don't buy it as a villain. You think like, oh, this is a stupid film.
So yeah, definitely I agree with that. I think the best parts of the movie is when they're in the system in the Oasis doing their chase to find the keys. Because a lot of riddles in it as well. It's not fed to you. They got to solve this thing. Yeah. And that was well done. That solving things was well done. If you're a gamer, you love it. There's just so many references to games from the past and the present. You can spot all kinds of things, and we're pretty geeky anyway, so we learn that kind of stuff. We're very geeky, but you know what? I'll qualify that by saying that I thought it was a bit too much, in your face. People say, is it pandering or is it just literally just... No, it was a bit too much. It's like Steven Spielberg knows that everyone loves him and half of them are his own film, references to his own film. And it was just a bit overdone. I know Steven Spielberg apparently dialed down the references to his own films because the book apparently mentions a lot more about Steven Spielberg. So kudos to him on that. And I like that they've put the references, but it was just so in your face that it lost the novelty factor. I think, to be honest, that was one of the selling points of this movie, though, it's going to be full of references and people gaming people will love it. And I think that was the main draw, to be honest. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. It's like the emoji film for average non-nerdy people, right? You can't see emoji movies. No, just hear me out. Emoji film, non-nerdy people. I recognize that emoji, shit emoji, or smiley emoji. And that's the same kind of thing they want to do here. Oh, gamers would love that reference. I think there's a difference between how Emoji Movie did it. That was literally the only point of that movie. Whereas I think Ready Player One is a lot more subtle in a sense. Because they're in the gaming universe, so it makes sense. Whereas Emoji Movie was there's actually a world in your phone about emojis, which is a bit stupid. Let's not go into emoji film. I just wanted to make that analogy there. But I thought the references were too in your face. It wasn't smart enough. It was just boring references. Honestly, it was a typical summer blockbuster. You don't really have to think too much about it. I wasn't expecting it. To be honest, I thought this would come out in August, June, July time, because it feels like that kind of movie. Summer film, you watch it, just summer blockbuster, fun, it's enjoyable, it's bright, but it's a bit more. It's a bit weird for it to come down. One thing I really disliked though was that the plot and the characters and the way they behave was very unrealistic. Like the evil corporate megalord, he's just so stupid that you wouldn't expect a megalord to be that stupid. I was gonna say it does. That is one point I didn't know. Is in the trailer she says "Welcome to Rebellion." Okay, cool. So that's gonna happen, but they don't explain what the rebellion is. There is no mention of rebellion at all. Are you leading the rebellion? And it's 5 other people who just all go away. I'm how long has the rebellion been going on for? How long have you been fighting for? Who are you? What's your role? Are you the main head? Nothing happens. I'm that really disturbs nothing in the entire film. What's the rebellion? You can't hype it up, even put in the trailer it's a big thing. Then just say. I thought Spielberg definitely focused too much on the spectacle rather than the character development as well. It felt a lot more like a summer movie. Apart from but summer films are also good films. Spielberg's own films are good. Look at E.T., right? So this one. Tell me something about any of the other characters other than Ty Sheridan. There is no character development. Apparently they all live in the same block. Which I find this is a game that happens over. This is a worldwide game. But they all meet up and they just have to live in the same part of America. Okay. But seriously, there is no character development for the other guys. Zero. To be honest, H, I think the sidekick, has a bit of character to him. But it's literally, it's nothing compared to other Spielberg films. It's not. Even War of the Worlds had character development for all the people. If them died, I would have not cared whatsoever. No, you wouldn't. No. It's just like that. But I do understand where you're coming from. And that's such an important aspect of you being engrossed and involved in the film. And without that, you're thinking, oh, this is just one guy just coming in for spectacles. And that's what drew me out of that film. It was just so generic. It could have been Michael Bay doing this film, and I wouldn't have. I'm not joking. So many explosions, and I get it. It was well directed, but it wasn't engrossing enough. And I think it's one of Spielberg's poorest films. Yeah, I would say I saw it online. It's one of his greatest movies. I'm it's not. I wouldn't put it up. No, it's one of his worst films. He's done a lot of stuff. So no, it's one of his worst films. People get caught up in the hype nowadays, and they forget about one. You can't compare this to Saving Private Ryan, can you? It's no way. But anyway, that pretty much wraps it up. Let's give us a quick summary. Ready Player One.
no summary really. Spielberg wasn't ready to do this.
He wasn't ready?
Yeah, he wasn't ready.
Not ready, player one?
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, Spielberg wasn't player one.
I'll just say it's just it's enjoyable fun. Gamers will like it, I think. Apart from that, don't really expect don't expect anything groundbreaking.
I was disappointed there wasn't any Mass Effect reference.
That's why it's really annoying.
I was really disappointed. No Mass Effect reference.
Well, every game in the world got a reference.
Every game in the world, but not Mass Effect.
It's not good enough, but that's another story.
Yeah. Well, this is not just gamer. It's not just for gamers though, is it? It's pop culture. Yeah.
Pop culture.
It's hardly got any game references, in fact.
I think the trailers focus on games, but in general, there's a lot of
Yeah,
pop culture,
trailer focuses on games, but it's mostly just pop culture.
Yeah. But anyway, check it out. It's out now. Just literally came out yesterday. So I think that pretty much wraps up this week. Got anything else to add? We vented out. There's a lot of
No, I've vented out enough.
I think Pacific Rim really got into it.
Yeah, yeah. Don't watch Pacific Rim. Watch Unsane. Watch Ready Player One. Yeah, watch it if you're really a Spielberg fan.
Feeling like
yeah, but you're gonna come out feeling like this wasn't Spielberg's best. I'll tell you that.
No, it's not his best. But you know, on that bombshell, as they say in a certain TV show, that cause. I think they'll sue me for saying that line now.
Yeah.
But anyway, see you next week. Have fun and enjoy your Easter break. See ya.
Have a good one.
Bye.